Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ketch, and it's been quite a while since our last video. Sorry I have to record the video like this because the table is too low and it's weird to do it in a landscape mode and usual video mode. But today's video I am gonna talk about how I got into NUS, NTU and SMU. And for the background, I completed my A-levels last year and applied to 3 Singapore universities, namely NUS with NUSC, NTU and SMU. I studied in Singapore. I got more than 85 rank points for my A-level, and I have scored consistently over 85 in my internal exams. I am an international student. Sorry, my voice is a little bit fried right now because it's like very early in the morning. I went to Singapore secondary school and junior college, so therefore my experiences might not help those who have different qualifications, like applying to university through poly routes or other high schools qualifications, but I'm sure that you'll find something helpful in this video. Also, I got admitted to the computer science program in all 3 universities, USC or NUS College as well in NUS. So the first question is, what should you do if you're now in JC or grade 11 or 12 or even earlier? I think that it is important for you to do consistently well, especially in your final exams, because if you are applying for programs like NUS College, scholarships, or early admissions, you might probably be asked to send in your promotional exam and preliminary A-level exam results on top of your final A-level results, although they're less strict about, the grades that you get, but it's help you tremendously if you get like very good scores prior to your A-level exam. I was quite involved in high school, and I did a lot of extracurricular activities such as community service, student councils, sports and arts, and I was also the leader in some of them, and I participated in academic competitions as well. So I recommended that you start exploring the subject areas that you're interested in studying in the future, and join extracurricular activity, projects, or competitions that you're interested in. And in doing so, you will have like a more enriching and fulfilling high school experiences, while also getting a little bit of portfolio for your university admissions. Obviously, you need to get as good results for your A-level as possible, because although I said earlier that the admission process is getting more holistic, there are huge chances that you might not get into your desired courses due to your grades, even if you have a really good portfolio. So in my opinion, grade as still number 1 for Singapore University, and you can check the indicative grade profile for the courses you want to study in these 3 universities, and just take note of the results of the previous batches that got admitted. But please don't be super stressed about it. Just work hard and smart towards your goal. Let's start with my application experiences and advice. So coming up first, NUS. So in 2024 cycle, we have 5 questions to respond, and these questions are clear for self-interest and also evaluating the suitability of the candidates who apply for the program. I am not sure if they will change the questions, but I think that they will be about the same. Some general tips before delving into the questions. You don't have to write about your intended majors in every questions. You just have to make sure that you show interest, and make sure that show that you're fit for the course, which can be hard skills or soft skills if you don't have hard skills. And also be concise in your response, because you don't have a lot of words for each questions. And after brainstorming, write your first draft, edit from there until you're satisfied. Along the way, you might come up with better ideas or topics that you want to change to, and that's completely fine. For me, I ended up with 5 or so drafts. The first question is, so for this question, I think that they refer to practical experiences that you have from joining different activities or event related to your intended major. So if you have not done anything until now, start doing it. But if you have not at all and are not able to participate in anything, your exams, especially if you're in J2 right now, you still have some time after A-levels to actually explore and do projects and join online courses. For me, how I approach this is listing down the related activities, which are hackathon, coding club, and online courses I took, and then I describe what I learned from joining them. Second question. I listed down failures I encountered and thought a little bit about each of them and started writing. I stated my situation, my expectations very briefly. I then on reflecting on my failure, why I failed, although I worked hard at the time or at the thing I did, and most importantly, how did I fix the problems and the favorable result that come from it, and how these experiences positively impact my behavior and mindset ever since. In my opinion, it doesn't matter how big or small they are as long as you have learned something significant from them, and take note to link what you've learned to things like school values, qualities that students-oriented major should possess, etc. And you can also use a STAR approach to approach this question, which stands for situation, task, action, and results. Third question. Again, I listed down things that are meaningful to me. It can be people, places, moment, extracurricular activities, or values. And I think that it is super important to actually give context or reason as to why that particular things are meaningful. It is also good to give example what you did as well. So for me, I wrote about community services and volunteering, so I briefly elaborated on how these value of kindness and spirit of wanting to make a difference in other people's life came about and what I did after realizing that. So example and description of the activities that I did can be 1 or 2 depending on how many word limits you have. Fourth question. So achievement don't have to be tangible and grand stuff like medals or anything like that. So in my opinion, things that you did and obstacles you overcame that lead you to the desirable results, whether it is in a club or it's personal or considered as achievements. So again, I listed down achievement I had and began to brainstorm about it. I did not describe the achievement, rather I showed the problem I encountered and thing I did to achieve that particular things, basically the process. For example, I wrote about me being able to motivate my teammates to work hard and improve their skills, and probably doesn't sound interesting, but thing is that I have to consider the context. We're a beginner. We had to compete with those who have years of experiences, and as a captain, it was something that was kind of stressful. So I detailed what I did while constantly emphasizing and linking back to the NUS values that the questions ask for. Finally, the result is accounted no matter how big or small they are. Yeah. The last question. For me, I just listed down a bunch of my extracurricular activities that are not in my CCA certificate and also my other awards if I have. You could do the same if you have more. You could do the same, but if you have more stuff to say to convince that you're a great fit, please write them down. Now we are done with the NUS portion of the application. So if you are applying for the NUSC like me, you'll be required to write a few other essays. And if you don't know what NUSC is, it's NUS College. It's an honor college in NUS, and it is interdisciplinary in nature, and it is a program that's on top of your actual major in NUS. So let's delve into the essay. First question. So again, I approached this question by listing down what experiences I want in and outside of the classroom in NUS, and how the curriculum in NUS will complement my intended major and benefit me when I go to work and approach problems. I also mentioned specific courses, experiences, features of NUSC that help me accomplish my goals, and I think that is a very good approach. You need to do a lot of research about NUSC, and you can do this by visiting their website, seeing what's unique about NUSC and whether it is what you want in university. Another thing is that NUSC has many Zoom webinar sessions that you can join to actually gain more understanding of the essay questions and also NUSC in general. Second question. I think that for these type of questions, the easiest way to do it is to actually follow the guiding questions. So that's exactly what I did. And I chose multiple non-academic activities. I also used the guiding questions to structure my essays and approach the prompt. What I considered was whether I was whether I want to mention a few activities or only one of them, and the extent to which I pursue that activities. Like, is it a long term or short term? I feel like the longer and more impactful it is, the more it shows that you are passionate about it, and it's something that NUSC actually wants from their student. Again, give concise context and adequate details, especially if you're planning to write on multiple activities like I did. Third question. This question is more intellectual and more kind of like a general paper essay, if you know what that is, in my opinion. And there have like set of guiding questions that we can follow. So these questions kind of want you to demonstrate how you think about a specific subject or example, and therefore more generally, how do you think our thinking works. It's kind of weird, but I think that as you start writing, you kind of get the gist of it. So this was a very intimidating for me because I had no idea what to write, not to mention that I'm not the best at writing. This goes to show that you should start as early as possible and takes your time to think about the prompts and brainstorm what to write. And I think it's very, very important. Don't start at the last minute and turning in as not your best work or that you don't feel good about. It is kind of like GP essays, like I said, but you have to add personal experiences. So it's kind of like a recount in terms of giving context and or examples. And the essay doesn't have to be like super philosophical, but it has to show like a certain degrees of analytical and reflective. So according to NUSC, being analytical means you need to take stands while you explain your stance and argument. You need to consider different perspectives and angles. Being reflective means that you need to be able to draw bigger pictures of things that you're talking about beyond your personal analysis. So it's like drawing from your experiences, but expanded to a bigger or broader context, like in your community, in the society, or in the world. So there were two questions to choose from, and I chose question 2. So what I wrote was about racial identity, which was kind of scary to me as I didn't know how the assessor would view it. But I gave context on my own experiences, what I learned and realized after reflecting on those experiences about the topic and how it is in the society as a whole. Then I answered the question by taking a stance, explaining it, and gave solutions, and how I've been trying to do it on my own. I was kind of lucky to write on the topic that I'm quite passionate about. That I have done something about it in high school, and I think that is very good if you can show that you have been actually practicing what you preach. It's not just like something that you just thought about, but it's something that you do something about, which is super important. It is also good to have someone like your friends, your seniors, your teachers, and even parents to actually read about it and see what they think. The last question was just about additional thing that I wanted to share. So for this question, I wanted to show them another side of me that I am passionate about. So I wrote about my YouTube channel. And if you pass the essay round, you get an interview invitation from them pretty quickly. For me, it was like 3 or 4 days after I submitted my NUS and NUSC application. I did a Zoom interview since I wasn't in Singapore. I can't give you detailed information about my interview experiences because the invitation literally said that our discussions were confidential, but generally do expect interview to last about 15 to 20 minutes. It's kind of like different from other scholarship interviews. So I'm going to tell you what the NUSC wants from their students, and from this I think you get a general idea of what the interview will be like. So NUSC wants students who are unique, globally aware, and passionate about certain thing, and are able to have insightful discussions and opinions about different topics in and outside of the classrooms. So honestly, I was very nervous and I prepared like a lot of questions, but we ended up talking about different things and none of the questions I prepared came out. Trust me, it is less scary than it seems. And just try your best to be confident in whatever you're saying and try to show the viewers that you really want to be in NUSC by, for example, mentioning their programs that you're interested in, classes you want to take, and the values that align with yours, etc. Okay, now we are done with NUS and we are going to NTU. For NTU, I got the early admission invitation. I decided to apply early. NTU still has a system of direct application, with just academic results or aptitude-based admission, which in short called ABA. I really didn't have much advice for this because I applied with my academic results, prelim results, and I got back the result within a week back in January. So if you are applying by your academic results alone, it's actually super quick. It took me like a few minutes to actually fill out the application form. But for ABA, you need to answer questions like those of NUS and SMU and attend an interview if you pass the essay round. That is why it's important to participate in extracurricular activities that you're passionate about, especially the one related to your intended major, because you can use those experiences to actually answer these questions, and they will be very, very helpful for you. Okay, it's very short for NTU because I didn't have experience with the ABA. Lastly, for SMU, I got the early admission invitation as well, but I didn't apply early, which I kind of regretted. I applied after the A-level results came out. Normally for SMU, you have to respond to a few short answer questions, and if you pass, you participate in interview, and the interview has two sections, the getting to know you sections and the aptitude assessment sections, which will vary according to the major that you're applying. So my friends told me that they will ask you about like your suitability for the programs, obviously, and also like some logic or like basic questions related to the courses that you want to take. For me, I got the direct admission without the interview due to my rank point, which falls in the range of direct admission. So I can't really give you advice on that, but I suggest that you check on Reddit in this forum called SC Exam or Exam SG, if I'm not wrong. If you want to know the past experiences of candidates, it's a very great platform to actually connect and like looking for the past experiences of the candidates who apply for schools. Let's delve into the essays. For the first essay, skills, in my opinion, don't have to be tangible or practical. It can be value that you respect and something that you have been practicing to make the world or community a better place. So for me, I wrote about empathy, and I told how I realized it's important, how I realized it's important, how I developed and practiced and honed it over time, and also the impact on me and the people around me as I practice this value. Second question. This is quite explanatory in itself, but if you haven't had the chance to do or initiate something big, you can actually talk about little things that you did. Just try to think, and I believe that you will have something to answer the questions. Make sure to explain the impacts of your action to your community. Third question. So this question essentially asks for the situation you have to step out of your comfort zone in personal projects or in team projects or in other things like academics. For me, I wrote about challenges and a solution, which is like the most straightforward approach. I detailed concisely what exactly was the obstacle I did, what I did to overcome and to solve it, and what I learned from the experiences that will help me in the future. Okay, that was very fast. Moving on to the last question. For the last question, I actually wrote about my experiences in CS and coding, because I actually have not discussed about them in the other essays that I wrote for SMU. And I also list down my achievements and extracurricular activity that was not included in my CC certificate. So that is it for today's video. I hope it is useful for you. Take it with a grain of salt, because my experiences might be different from others, and also like majority of the large portion of this video is dedicated to NUS and NUSC, because I had the longest application process with them, like the essays and the interviews, and NUSC too. I didn't have as much experiences with NTU and SMU, but I hope that my experiences that I share with you can actually help you in applying to university and getting into those universities that you want to. I wanted to make the video about scholarship as well, but unfortunately I did not wait until the scholarship results came out. I got the unexpected acceptance from somewhere else, and I decided to reject all my Singapore's universities offers I am very, very grateful for the acceptances from these universities, and I really wish I can one day in the future visit them. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment down below, and I will try my best to actually answer your questions. From now on, I will also make videos about like college, because college has started for me and it was kind of hectic, and that's why I haven't been posting and having like the time to actually record the video. But I will try my best to upload. Thank you for watching. Bye.